Hello everyone, I'm Jinjinx.
And I'm Tuna, and we're the Monster Hunter Math Guys.
That's right, Tuna is no longer my assistant. He has been promoted to full-fledged co-owner of the channel after some convincing arguments. Tuna, welcome to your performance review. Why do you believe that you're fit for the position of co-owner of the channel?
Well, during my time with the company, we've seen about a 1000% increase in brand recognition and fan retention.
I see. The math checks out. Get it? Math? I see you have a Mr. Jinjinx listed here as a reference. Mind if I give him a quick call?
By all means, I'm sure he'll be very agreeable.
Hello? Hello, is this a Mr. Jinjinx? Yes? I'm calling about an employee of yours, Tuna. How would you rate his performance?
Hey, Tuna, give me a double espresso, thick crema this time.
Get your own f***ing coffee, you piece of shit!
Great, he's great, just great guy, great worker, just great. No, but seriously, Tuna is a lifesaver, and without him, these videos would not be even half as good as they are currently. He does so much for the channel that it just doesn't make sense for him to be an assistant. So thank you so much, Tuna, for everything you do, and congratulations. You deserve it. Because you're always worth it. This video is part of our Monster Hunter Meta series, covering the mathematically optimal builds for different weapons in Monster Hunter World.
In this video, we'll be covering Switchaxe. Also, there are a few different meta builds, so we'll be explaining each. We'll also be explaining why one is better than the other in a certain situation.
Also, quick disclaimer, we will be referring to EFR, effective elements, and hit zone values a lot in these videos. If you do not know what those are, I heavily recommend you look at the videos we have linked in the top right covering them. And we will be including the standard raw attack buffs mentioned in the EFR video in the builds for this video.
We want to take a moment to thank all of you who have been supporting the channel. Our community has grown very rapidly, but you guys have been nothing short of amazing. You guys are excellent to each other in the comments, often helping each other out before Jinx and I even have an opportunity to respond. So we'll keep striving to live up to the quality that you guys expect, and here's to the next milestone. Once again, thank you.
Alright, so these builds are going to be for patch 5.1. We do know that the Xenogama and Zorogama sets have been leaked. However, neither of them are efficient enough to change these builds. So at least for the current moment, these builds will be sticking around as the meta options.
Also, to prevent us from repeating ourselves for every build, these all use Behemoth. What this means is that they all use the Behemoth Armor's Master's Touch set bonus. That way they won't lose sharpness on critical strikes.
Exactly. Combine that with high affinity and you basically never have to sharpen. Switchaxe is actually one of my favorite weapons. Good damage, fun combos.
Favorite? Or are you just a masochist who enjoys having a hop with less invincibility frames than a normal roll?
Also true. So, there are 3 top options for Switchaxe, each performing marginally better depending on the matchup. First up is the highest EFR option, the KT Water SA. This build hits the highest EFR for SA, which is 555.32.
That's a lot of damage. But that does come at a cost, right?
Indeed, because this build only has 10 units of white and you don't get max might on hop slashes and wild swings, it's definitely possible to lose white depending on how you play. And if you end up dipping into blue sharpness, the Water SA just loses out to the other options. Which is why you can switch out the attack boost deco for a handicraft deco to have twice as much white. This drops the EFR down to 549.78, which is still very good. Next up is the Jho SA, which hits 543.31 EFR.
Now we know that's lower than the Water Switchaxe, but it does have dragon damage as well. As we mentioned in our elemental video, if the EFR is close enough, the elemental damage can make up the difference.
Exactly, and the SA is an interesting case for this because the power Phial Switchaxes get a 70% boost to roar while in sword mode. This makes the EFR difference more amplified than on other weapon types. So in this particular case, the EFR difference is 12.01. How it ends up working out is that if a monster has a dragon hit zone value of 10 to 15, then the Jho SA will deal equal damage to the Water SA on amped sword attacks. Any higher hit zone values, and then the Jho SA will beat the Water SA.
The reason we say 10 to 15 is because it does depend on the sever hit zone value of the monster in question.
However, the issue remains that you only have 10 units of white with that particular water SA build. And if you hit blue during the hunt, it outright loses to the Jho SA. So if you use the 20 units of white version of the water SA, the Jho SA will match it on 5 Dragon hit zone value monsters. So at the end of the day, against a lot of monsters in the game, the Jho SA equals or out damages the water SA build. The most notable example where the Jho SA will lose to the water SA is against Odogaron, because he is immune to dragon damage. And it also gets 30 units of white sharpness, which is really comfy. If you play well, you should never really be hitting blue, except against monsters like Luna or Lavasioth because they have terrible sever hit zone values.
All of these factors combined mean the Jho Switchaxe is the best general use Switchaxe.
Finally, we have the Nergyluna SA. This has a mandatory health org because it is a peak performance build. So with Peak and Agitator active, this set hits 541.46 EFR, which is only 1.85 EFR less than the Jho SA. It also gets the occasional blast proc, which can push its damage over the Jho SA on certain matchups, and has the longest effective white sharpness, so it can be very good for long fights like Arc-Tempered Elders.
That does sound really good, but that's only with Agitator and Peak active, right?
Exactly. Without Agitator active, this set loses 22.3 EFR, and without Peak on top of that, it loses another 36.44 EFR. Which means this set is very dependent on how long the monster is enraged, as well as how good you are at maintaining peak performance. If you can maintain both very well, the blast damage will push this build over the other two in a lot of matchups.
These factors can make Nergyluna one of the better choices for monsters that spend a lot of time enraged and have low dragon hit zone values. Funny enough, Nergigante is probably the best example.
Finally, we would like to mention an alternative to the water SA in case you did not get it from KT. This KT Horn build hits 553.74 with Agitator active. So this build does not hit as high in EFR as the water SA build of course, and loses to the Jho SA in most matchups. But it is a good option for monsters like Odogaron if you do not have the water SA.
We know that the build doesn't hit white sharpness. That's because it's currently not possible to make a build that can both hit white sharpness and high enough affinity to main the Master's Touch.
Also, we did not mention the non-elemental boost Para Switchaxe build. The Para Switchaxe build only hits 542.64 EFR even with peak performance active, so it ends up just being weaker than the Jho SA before you even consider any dragon damage. And then you also have to deal with the fact that it has peak performance, so it just ends up being a worse option than these three. Now, of course these builds assume you have the decos available to make them. However, if you are missing some, you can use the set builder at honeyhunterworld.com to figure out what the highest EFR set you can make with your own decoration limitations. Alright everyone, that about does it for this video guys. Equipped with these builds, you will now be dealing max deeps. I want to give a quick shout out to Olivia Black over at the Monster Hunter Gathering Hall. She was the first one to show me the Tareth Horn build we have in the video. Her Discord tag will be in the description. And I also want to give a shout out to Vanov. He is an amazing speedrunner who does a lot of Switchaxe runs. When Behemoth first came out, he and I were discussing a lot of these different builds, and he is the one who pointed out to me that the Nergyluna Switchaxe was a very strong option. A link to his channel will be in the description below.
If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like. We'll have new videos coming out soon on the other weapons, so be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon to be notified when those come out. As always, if you have any questions or need clarifications, leave a comment. And if you want your friends to join in on dealing max deeps, be sure to share this video with them.
Happy hunting hunters, Tuna and I will see you in the next video. Bye!